Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. Some of the most memorable turning points in life creep in disguised as ordinary days. I turned 37 on a gray rain-soaked Thursday. That morning my wife, Nyla, was in an unusually bright mood. She kissed my forehead before I left for work, humming softly as she blended her usual smoothie. She mentioned she had a surprise planned for that night. We'd been married for 7 years. Like any marriage, ours had its flaws. But I truly believed we were partners, sharing dreams, routines, playlists, even a toothbrush when we traveled. Lately though, something felt different. Late-night messages, sudden extra gym sessions, a new perfume she never wore around me. I brushed it off as my imagination. But when I stepped into the restaurant she picked for my birthday dinner that evening, I felt something inside me tighten. At the table were 6 of our closest friends. And then there was him, a man in his early 40s, stylish, poised, seated far too comfortably next to my wife. I'd never seen him before. He didn't stand when I arrived. He barely acknowledged me. Nyla introduced him casually. "This is Darren. He's a coworker. Thought it'd be nice for you two to meet." I shook his hand. It felt like shaking a slab of ice. He looked at me the way someone looks at a valet. The entire dinner was agony dressed as small talk. My friend sensed something was off but stayed silent. Every time she laughed at one of his comments, something inside me twisted. She poured him wine. She touched his shoulder. She leaned in when he whispered something to her, and her face lit up. Halfway through, I excused myself, not because I needed to, but because I needed air. In the restroom, I stared at my reflection. I saw a man who kept telling himself that patience was love, even when it meant swallowing humiliation. A man who muted his instincts because he didn't want to accept that the woman he trusted could betray him so openly, so shamelessly. When I sat back down, something in me had snapped quietly. I didn't argue. I didn't ask questions. I simply existed at that table while the two of them flirted like teenagers. My dinner went untouched. After dessert, a chocolate cake with a candle, she kissed my cheek and said, "Happy birthday, babe." I forced a smile. "Thanks." Those were the last words I ever said to her. We drove home in silence. Darren left just minutes before us. She didn't apologize or explain anything. She didn't even look bothered. When we got inside, she showered and then lay on the couch scrolling through her phone. She fell asleep like that, without a single word about what had happened. I stood in the hallway watching her sleep, this woman I no longer recognized. That was when the decision formed. I packed 2 bags with the essentials: clothes, important documents, my laptop, photos of my father. I left the wedding album behind. She could keep that illusion. I walked through the apartment, remembering the nights we danced in the living room, the meals we cooked when we couldn't sleep, the bed where I thought love still lived. It all felt like a museum built on lies. I didn't leave a note. I didn't text. No goodbye. I simply vanished. I drove for hours until I reached a small coastal town I loved as a child. Rented a room under a different name. Canceled my cards. Opened new accounts. Turns out disappearing isn't that hard once you realize the life you were protecting had already ended. For weeks I ignored my phone. When I finally checked it, I saw the messages, calls, voicemails, a handful of texts. "Where are you? You're being dramatic. At least talk to me. You just left? Seriously?" I didn't reply. She hadn't spoken up when she sat another man beside her at my birthday dinner. I gave her the same silence she gave me. People later told me I should have confronted her, demanded answers, shouted. But here's the truth. Noise fades. Silence lingers. And disappearing? That's the loudest message you can send. It's been 6 months now. My new life is quieter, smaller, but peaceful. I work remotely. I jog by the ocean. I chat with strangers who know nothing about my past. Sometimes, when I watch the waves roll in, I think about that night. I don't smile because I'm glad it happened. I smile because it taught me something. I finally stopped begging for the love of someone who had already left me long before I walked away. Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers.